So in this part of video, we are going to discuss elaborately about the structure of androecium, that is the male part. Now children, this is the transverse section of the anther, the bilobed anther. This one is the first lobe and this is the second lobe. You can see both the lobes are divided into two thecas. They are having two thecas and each theca is having a microsporangium. Okay, this microsporangium will later on become pollen sac, and the pollen sac will have pollen grains. Now let's move on. A typical microsporangium is near circular in outline. That means almost circular, as you see. It is almost circular in outline and it is surrounded by four wall layers. Now each microsporangium is made up of four wall layers. You see this, these are the yeah, these are the four wall layers as you see here. Now what they have done, they have just enlarged this portion, only this much portion they have enlarged here, so that you can observe all the four walls. Okay, so each microsporangium is almost circular in outline and there are four walls present there. Now the name of the walls from outside to inside. The outermost layer is epidermis, then comes the endothecium, then the middle layer, and the innermost layer is called tapetum. Okay, the four walls, again let me show you, let me zoom it for you. See the four walls, the outermost is epidermis. After the epidermis, the next one is endothecium. Then comes the middle layers. These are the middle layers. There are of 2 to 3 layers. The middle layer is actually not one layer. It is almost 2 to 3 layers. And the innermost one is the tapetum. So these are the four walls by which a microsporangium is made up of. Okay, the outer three layers. Now the outer three are, who are the outer three? The epidermis, the endothecium and the middle layers. These outer three. Okay, the three are giving protection. They give protection to the pollen grains that will be present inside. Okay, and help in dehiscence of anther to release the pollen. Now when the anther is matured, when the anther is ready to release the pollens, these three layers will dehiscize. Dehiscize matlab they will get dried up and they will burst open. They will, you can say, हिंदी में we call it as कि फट के, the anther will, वो फट जाएगा and they will release the pollen from inside. So these three layers are protective in function and they will dehiscize the and pollen grains will be released. Now you see the innermost layer or the last innermost layer is the tapetum. This is very important layer. One marker question comes from this topic. The innermost layers are responsible for nourishing the developing pollen grains. Now the developing pollen grains are in direct contact with the cells of tapetum and tapetum is responsible for providing them nourishment, because pollen grains are they require nourishment. Okay, so where will they derive this nourishment from? They will take the nourishment from the cells of tapetum. Cells of tapetum contain dense cytoplasm and generally have more than one nucleus. So this is another situation. They can ask you the structure of tapetum. What are the structure of the cells present in the tapetal layer? So you can say that the cells present on the tapetum have very dense cytoplasm and they can have more than one nucleus. If they ask you what is the function of tapetum, you will say they provide nourishment to the pollen, developing pollen grains. Now in young anther, each microsporangium has sporogenous tissue at the center. Now if you see at the center, there are sporogenous tissues present. At the center are present sporogenous tissues. Okay, it consists of compactly arranged, you can say no space between them, compactly arranged homogeneous diploid cell. That means all of them are almost same in structure and function, and they are compactly arranged with no intercellular space between them, and they actually, you can say, fit in between the space, or they fill up, they are used as a packaging material, you can say, in between the, in the center of the microsporangium. So in a young anther, each microsporangium has porogenous tissue at the center. Each microsporangium will have sporogenous tissue at the center, and these sporogenous tissue will be diploid cells. They will be diploid cells. You have to underline this. This is very important. Sporogenous cells are always diploid. So sporogenous tissue is made up of sporogenous cells, and sporogenous cells are diploid. And where will you find these sporogenous cells or sporogenous tissue? You will see them in the center of each micro. Now there are 4 microsporangia, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So all of them in the center will have sporogenous tissue. Clear? So this is the structure of microsporangium.